Thinking of buying a prefab kit house? Hold up, this could save you a fortune. If you're eyeing one of those trendy prefab kit homes, pause right there. Before you drop your hard-earned cash, there are some major traps people fall into when diving into the world of prefab homes, and trust me, these are the kinds of mistakes that can turn your dream build into a full-blown headache. Here are 15 sneaky traps you need to know about. Trust me, these can turn your dream home into a headache real quick. From hidden costs and permits to design limits and delivery surprises, I've got you covered. Stick around so you don't fall into the same pitfalls a lot of buyers regret later. And yes, that Instagram wealthy prefab might look like a steal, but there's a whole lot behind the curtain they don't show you. Trap number 15. Believing the starting at price is the final cost. Falling for the starting at $35,000 headline and thinking that's the grand total you'll pay? Oh, if only it were that simple. Spoiler alert, it's definitely not. That attractive little number they flash on the screen? That's almost always the price for the absolute basics, a skeleton of a home, really. I am talking just the outer shell here. 4 walls and a roof, nothing more. No foundation, no plumbing, no electrical work, and definitely no pretty finishes or cozy kitchen cabinets. Want to actually live in it? You'll be adding on costs for site prep, utility hookups, permits, interior fixtures, appliances, and don't forget shipping and installation. All those extras, which really aren't optional if you want a functional home, can balloon that original $35,000 into something north of $100,000 faster than you can say, budget overrun. So here's the golden rule. Always, and I mean always, get a detailed, line-by-line breakdown of every cost involved before you sign anything. Otherwise, you might find yourself standing next to an unfinished prefab with an empty bank account and a credit card bill that feels like a mortgage. Trap number 14. Ignoring shipping and delivery fees. Forgetting about delivery and shipping costs. That $40,000 kit may seem like a great deal until you realize it's being shipped from 3 states away and requires a crane to unload. Yep, you read that right. A flatbed truck and a crane, and if your land is hard to access, expect $5,000 to $15,000 in extra delivery charges easily. Moral of the story? Always get a delivery quote before you sign anything. Trap number 13. Not understanding what's included. Not knowing what's actually included in the kit. Some kits are full-on ready-to-assemble homes. Others? Just a stack of wall panels and a roof. No doors, no windows, no insulation, and definitely no wiring. That complete kit could be missing half the things you assumed were included. The solution? Get a detailed materials list before committing. You don't want to be the person who ends up camping inside their own unfinished prefab. Trap number 12. Thinking you can skip permits. Thinking you can skip permits because it's just a kit. Let me burst that bubble. Local building departments do not care if your house came in a box. You still need permits, zoning approval, and septic or sewer authorization. And if you skip all that, you could face massive fines or, in the worst-case scenario, be forced to tear it down. Yep, demolition. Do it right the first time and check with your county. Trap number 11. Not vetting local zoning laws. Not researching zoning rules before buying land or a kit. Believe it or not, some areas won't even let you live full-time in a prefab kit home. Others have strict minimum size requirements, ban certain roofing types, or even say no to metal siding. You need to talk to your local zoning and planning office before you swipe that credit card, because I didn't know won't help when your prefab dream hits a legal wall. Trap number 10. Assuming DIY is always cheaper. Assuming building it yourself is the cheapest option. DIY can save money, sure, but only if you really know what you're doing. If you botch the structural framing or miswire something, the repair costs can quickly surpass what you would have paid a pro. Unless you've built a house before, factor in contractor or labor fees. Trap number 9. Thinking it'll be move-in ready in weeks. Believing your prefab will be move-in ready in just a few weeks. Marketing makes it sound like you'll go from foundation to fireplace in 6 weeks flat. In reality, between permits, weather delays, contractor schedules, and utility hookups, you might be looking at 6 months or more. Expect delays and build that into your timeline. Trap number 8. Overlooking foundation needs and forgetting about foundation costs. Refab kits aren't just dropped onto a patch of dirt. Some require concrete slabs, others need pier foundations or crawl spaces, and if you're building in an area prone to snow, earthquakes, or flooding, local codes might require more complex foundation work. That's thousands of dollars in excavation and concrete you might not have budgeted for. Trap number 7, not planning for utilities. Overlooking the utility setup. In your prefab home doesn't magically come with electricity, water, and waste disposal. You'll need a water source, either a well or a hookup. Then there's septic or sewer, electrical hookups, and maybe even propane or solar power. Going off-grid? That's an entirely separate system involving solar panels, battery banks, composting toilets, and water storage tanks. It's a whole project on its own. Forgetting the utility puzzle? Okay, let's get one thing straight. Buying a prefab kit doesn't mean it's plug and play like your new toaster. It's not like you drop it on a patch of land and boom, instant home. Nope, you've got to think about utilities. First up, water. Where's it coming from? Are you digging a well or hooking up to the city's supply? Then there's the waste situation. Will it connect to a sewer system or are you installing a septic tank? Electricity? That needs to be wired in unless you're going full off-grid, and then, oh boy, you'll need solar panels, a battery backup, and probably a propane setup for cooking and heating. And don't forget water storage, filtration, composting toilets, and all the fun stuff that comes with off-grid living. Bottom line, if you don't plan this part right, your sleek little prefab turns into a glorified shed with no water or lights. Not cool. Trap 6, falling in love with Instagram, not reality. You've seen them, the ultra-modern minimalist boxes with floor-to-ceiling windows, perfect lighting, and not a single pair of socks lying around. But let me ask you, does it have storage for your actual stuff? Can it breathe? Does air flow through? Or does it feel like a hot box in July and a freezer in January? A space that looks like a dream on Pinterest might not function like one in real life. So before you commit to a design that screams vibe, make sure it actually works for your life. Storage, ventilation, and space to grow included. Trap 5. Ignoring insulation equals big regret later. Here's a cold hard truth. Some budget prefab kits cut corners on insulation. That means you might be shivering in the winter and melting in the summer, especially if you're in a place with extreme temps. It's not just about comfort, it's about energy bills, efficiency, and meeting local energy codes. Whether you're on-grid or off, make sure those walls, floors, and ceilings are built to handle your climate, otherwise you're setting yourself up for sleepless nights and sky-high utility costs. Trap 4. Skipping the structural questions. Okay, this one's a biggie. Your prefab might look strong on the website, but is it actually rated for real-world conditions? We're talking wind ratings, snow load, and even hurricane resistance. If you're setting up in the mountains or by the coast, these aren't optional, they're essential. Don't just assume your kit can take on Mother Nature. Ask. Demand certifications. Better to know now than during the first storm of the season. Trap 3. Thinking financing will be a breeze. The money part is always trickier than it seems. Most prefab kits? They're not exactly lender favorites. If your home's not on a permanent foundation yet or still sitting in a warehouse in pieces, banks might just say, nope. That's why you've got to plan ahead. Look into construction loans, personal financing options, or see if your kit qualifies for FHA-compliant lending. Because nothing hurts more than getting halfway through the dream and realizing the bank's not coming with you. Trap 2, no warranty or after-sale support. But here's something super important you need to know before hitting that Buy Now button on a prefab or kit home. No warranty, no after-sales support, just you and your toolbox. Yep, once that kit shows up at your doorstep, you're pretty much on your own. A lot of these kit companies don't offer any warranty. That means if something breaks, you pay for it. If something's missing, good luck getting it replaced. And if you need help, don't count on a friendly customer service call because guess what? There might not even be one. So what should you do? Read the fine print like it's your final exam. Look at the return policy. Check if they offer manuals or support. And most importantly, dig through the customer reviews. If everyone's saying they got ghosted after buying, that's your red flag waving in the wind. Walk away. Seriously. If there's no support crew, it's not for you. Always choose a company that's got your back after the sale, not just before you swipe your card. Trap 1. Not thinking about resale value. Okay, let's talk long-term. If this is your dream home forever, amazing. No problem there. But if you might sell it someday, you need to plan ahead. Prefab homes can be tough to finance or appraise when it's time to sell. Banks can be picky, and buyers might be unsure. Want to make it way easier down the road? Stick to building codes. Save all your receipts. Keep every bit of documentation. Think of it like making a resale-ready file folder. Future you will thank you big time. So be a smart buyer. Before buying, check these. Know what's in the kit. Don't assume, ask. Confirm local codes, rules vary by location. Budget beyond the kit. Include permits, delivery, foundation, and hookups. Ask about certifications like snow load and insulation. Pick a company with solid reviews and real support. Final tip. Prefabs can save money if you're prepared. Skip the research, and you might regret it. So take your time, do your research, and don't let slick marketing fool you. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like, maybe share it with someone planning to build, and don't forget to subscribe for more real talk on home building. Catch you in the next one. Stay sharp and build smart.